Welcome, everybody. I'm here with Cynthia Konopka, and she's a musician, teacher, frequency healer, and activator. And it's Cynthia's mission to touch as many souls as possible with her music, to help others connect more deeply to themselves and their soul mission, to activate the divine gifts within them that are lying dormant. And she works and enhances the collective healing of the world. I've heard her play her beautiful violin, and it is just breathtaking. She actually began playing the violin at age 3 and has since performed internationally for crowds exceeding 20,000. She channels her own music and developed a method that creates harmony within the body, clears out generational patterns and lifetimes of wounds at the DNA and cellular levels, activates the higher self, and opens the heart. Can you share, Cynthia, with us your private method for teaching that really enhances the divine gifts within each person?
Yes, so there are 3 parts to my frequency healing modality. And the first element to it is that it is in a frequency that is in tune with our body, the planet, the ocean, our brain when it's in sync on both sides. And the second element is that it uses a maximum vibration of overtones. So you'll feel it within your body, whether you're doing a session online or in person. The third element is that the music is channeled and has activation in the actual notes, and they are aligned with the chakra system within our body, which can clear out emotional blockages or physical blockages as all of the chakras line up.
Yeah, so I know I am quite familiar with the chakras, and I do believe that these energy centers get stuck. I always say it's like a hose, when you close the hose and the water stops, and then you open the hose and there's a flood of water, the water passes through it so easily. So you're saying that your music, and you play so beautifully, that it really opens up the energy centers, or does it clear them?
It does both, actually. So it clears out anything that is not meant for your highest good. It could even be something that has been passed down through generations, as the DNA is passed down for 7 generations going back. And then it activates the things that are meant to be activated within the body. I believe that we have a lot of DNA that is dormant, known as divine DNA. And it's unfortunate that we are not using all of our DNA in the way that we can. So I do also believe that in our lifetime, it would be very difficult to develop all, or go through or get through all the gifts that we have been gifted in this lifetime.
Yeah, that's beautifully said, because I think we are not realizing our full potential.
Absolutely.
So what do you find now, especially since COVID? I feel like our world has changed. Do you feel like everybody's energy is stuck, or they're not manifesting it? Or how do you feel that your music is really raising people's vibration?
Well, I do feel that the music that I'm working with, and music in general, connects you back to yourself. So I think people may be resonating with music at a deeper level now. Using a frequency that's in tune with your body really helps you to come back into your own center, into your true essence, into your own heart space, and really feel at a deeper level. And I think maybe we got a bit of a taste of what it feels like to be alone a little bit more during the pandemic. And as a result, we're noticing some things that maybe need to be cleared out, or need to be healed, or maybe just something that we're really passionate about because we had the time and the headspace to hear the messages that are coming through, or what our higher self is ready to do.
Yeah, that's so profound, because I really do feel that music is a pathway. I know that when I'm guiding meditation or something and I put on a certain song, people will cry or people will be very moved. And you know that too, when we're in the car or in the shower, that music and vocals and of course instruments can really open us up, right?
Absolutely. It really does get us in tune with our emotions, and it really recalls memories. Some people who are in their later stages of life who are suffering from dementia can actually
Mm.
recall a lot of memories through music. Years ago, I did some music therapy at an older age home in Niagara Falls, and I really enjoyed doing that with the residents of that particular place that I was doing the music therapy. It was just wonderful to see them recalling such beautiful memories from their past or their childhood or when they were much younger.
Yeah, it's a great memory spark. Oh, well, I really feel like, a Call for Love podcast is about finding the deep source of love within us. And so I feel like you're saying you found that calling through music
Yes, absolutely.
and you're sharing that with others. And I think it's so beautiful that you reached out to, especially the older people, because it can really trigger comforting response.
Yeah, the beautiful memories and beautiful sensations within the body.
So, what have you witnessed through others, through your work? What insights have you discovered by healing others through your beautiful music?
Well, I did notice that if someone was stressed before an activation or a healing, that they became very, very relaxed afterwards. Some go into very deep meditation. Some are actually able to just let go and fall asleep completely. And often that means that we are tapping into the subconscious level, because sometimes our human is resisting something that needs to be let go of, and it's important for us to allow ourselves to let go in this process. So some people say they feel absolutely relaxed. Some people see visions of what they're meant to be doing. Some people are able to see their past lives. Ancestors come in for visits during the meditation, and it's just beautiful to share. To share that they are sharing with me, because what I do notice is that everyone has a unique experience,
Mm.
but there's something that comes up, and it can be at all sorts of different levels. I also work with the DNA activation, which is really can get very interesting as well. And my clients may notice something even 24 hours after or 48 hours after. And then we sort of connect the dots to see what that exactly means if they're not able to decode it.
I know that you work with a lot of age, the huge range of age. What do you find your clients are really looking for?
I believe that at the deeper level, my clients are looking for inner peace. They're looking for connection. They're looking for truth within themselves. They're looking for love. They're looking for the feeling of self-love. I find a lot of people who are heart-centered are taking a look at the things around them and the things within themselves and realizing it's time to turn the self-care mirror onto themselves so that they can take care of themselves and then be that much better off for everyone else and be part of this healing that the world is coming to.
Yeah, so you're healing through music.
Yes.
If somebody was going to book a session with you, what would they expect? So, what does a musical experience of healing look like?
There's different variations of it, as I've been recently doing group sessions. But when someone comes to me one-on-one, we have a conversation. Sometimes the client is really surprised what they're sharing, and I'm receiving guidance right away. And I often sit in this space when I'm doing them on the video calls, and sometimes I do them in person more now. But there's a lot of energy that comes through. I also work with crystals and essential oils, and then like all of these different sensations really stimulate the energy within the session. And so we work through what they may want to clear out, where they may feel stuck, and then I incorporate that into a channeled meditation with meditation music, frequency music in the background, and I just go through that for as long as I feel guided to do so. And then I transition into playing one or even three frequency channeled activation pieces that I have that are specific for specific chakras that need clearing or activation. And then on top of that, at the very end, which I've been doing most recently, is I add the vocal activation tones that really help to clear things out. So if something hasn't been cleared out or activated, I find that the vocal tones kind of finish it off nicely.
Yeah, I've heard your vocals. They're really beautiful. Would you be able to play a little piece of violin music for us right now so that everyone can truly appreciate the gift and talent that you have? Because I have to share that in high school, I took violin and I would practice the violin, and my brothers would say it sounded like rats screaming. So I can appreciate the real skill it takes to play violin. So I would love our listeners to hear your violin music. So if you could share any piece that resonates with you, and then we can just really bathe in this beautiful sound bath.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, that is so beautiful. It just takes you into another space. I just felt my whole body relax, and you just want to sway. It's mesmerizing.
Music really does take us to another place, and the frequency that I use, which is different than what than the music that we're used to hearing, the frequency that the music is in today, it really just brings us back to ourselves. It really, you can really feel that balance in the body, and that specific one was really opening up the heart. So if you felt that it was meant to open up the heart, other places in the body as well, but the heart was the focal point of this particular piece that I channeled.
That's so beautiful. And I had somebody come up to me today because I was playing a crystal singing bowl, and they said, "What note was it?" They wanted to know if it was the heart. So how do you know if a music actually resonates with the heart chakra? How would you differentiate that?
Yeah, so the note is F sharp for the heart chakra, and it starts with the root going all the way up to the crown, and then there are additional chakras that have notes associated with them as well. So the very lowest note starts with C, moves up to D, E for the solar plexus, F sharp for the heart, G for the throat, A for the third eye, and B for the crown. So those are the basic ones. And then there's a couple of other ones that I work with. And I'm actually looking to find, there's not as much information of this for the other chakras on the internet, but I'm looking to find some of the other tones and what chakras they're associated with. So I'm diving deeper into the other chakras that we don't normally speak about, like the higher heart chakra or the stellar stars chakra.
Yeah, some listeners may not be familiar with the chakras, but even as a yoga teacher, there's 7 main energy chakras: the root, the solar plexus, the sacral, which is just around the navel, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And so we can actually put those in the show notes with the notes that correspond with each of those chakras, because I think that's really a beautiful thing to know.
Exactly. However, they do have to be associated with the tuning of 432 to have that strong benefit on your body, to be really
Mm.
aligned with your body, which a lot of the singing bowls are in that particular frequency. And then Some of them are in 528 as well, which is another frequency of love and is very much in tune with nature as well.
I would like to ask you, Cynthia, what is the common thread that you find is consistently coming up in your line of work? Because we've talked about the chakras, we've talked about your 3-step healing system. And so what are you noticing that's coming up?
Well, that's a very interesting question, because one evening I had a meditation where I was tuning into just divine energy. I felt this divine energy coming in, and I was able to connect the dots and just got this sudden download of information coming in, where I just saw pictures of the things that are associated with this frequency that we're using for this activation. And the things were nature, which is divinely created, the ocean, which I mentioned before, which is divinely created, plant life, which is divinely created, our planet, which is divinely created, and then the frequencies in tune with us, and we are divinely created. And then the music that comes is what I feel consistently now. A divine energy that comes through the music is gifted and has activation and divine activation in it, and coding or whatever the person is meant to have for their highest good. And I really do feel this connection to divine energy since I discovered this, even playing at a couple of different funerals, I've just felt almost like electricity going through my arms, that something else is taking over. There's this energy around me that's starting to really help or give the support of something that's divine, and music is a divine thing. Also, the vibration is very in tune. That full vibration is very in tune with something that would vibrate in nature, like a bird, or the way that you would hear the vibration of the leaves. It's just this natural vibration that is not interfered with or manipulated in any way.
Well, it's true. I mean, we're surrounded by energy, and that would be exactly what you're talking about. But can you just dive into a little deeper what you mean by activation, by being activated?
Yes. So myself being feeling activated.
Yes.
Yes. So I feel that there's this support around me, that anytime I get into something creative, and my music being something that I'm immersed in on a daily basis, if I go into meditation, if I'm gifting intuitive guidance in a session, all of that brings me to this other, basically a feeling like I'm going into a different frequency, like a higher vibrational frequency. And I'm very, with my zodiac sign, I'm very connected to truths and like divine truths. Is this part of being a Sagittarius? So I just keep seeing this theme of divine energy coming into this work I'm doing, and actually noticing myself letting go completely, and not even feeling nervous about things or wondering. I mean, this took a little bit of practice, but just saying to myself, whatever's meant to come through is going to come through. And it's never the case that something doesn't come through. I actually just came from a place where I was doing a group healing, and the one lady was quite emotional in her meditation when she was hearing the music, and I kept looking up and noticing that. And my activation was actually quite long, about 20 minutes, which is longer than I usually do it for. So I played bookends of some pieces that people would recognize, and then in the middle, the activation part. And she said that she was very emotional, and she said that she actually experienced heaven. She said, I think I actually experienced heaven. And she saw her mother with her there, and animals came in, and this beautiful energy everywhere. She was in a meadow. And so I do believe that we are collectively calling in this divine energy that it just feels like a cozy, warm blanket. And there's something in you that is being supported. I hope that makes sense.
It sounds like what you're saying is that when we enter a concert, or we enter music, we come with our ego, we come with our predetermined thinking patterns and our self-limiting beliefs and all these things that have been piled on us through socialization. And I feel like what you're saying is that when we let go, and then when we hear the music, we can allow our higher selves to come into our presence and really feel connected to the universe, to spirit, to creator, whatever people resonate with. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, that is absolutely true. And I also believe that if there's something that we're really passionate about or meant to be doing and we're on our soul purpose, we're never going to be left high and dry from spirit or supportive angels or divine energy or whoever you may call on for support around you as far as energy. I feel that when we're on our soul path and there's something that we truly love and are passionate about, that we are going to be gifted assistance, guidance, ideas, more creative energy flow, more just energy, physical energy in general.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I do feel that. I agree completely. And I feel that your work has really not only elevated you, but really inspired your clients.
I would agree, as I hear a lot of things that are being brought up that is centered around what they're now passionate about, or they want to take up a new hobby, or I think I want to even get more in tune with the frequency or the music, or I now want to start singing lessons, and something that feels really empowering for them.
Do you feel that you're seeing a lot of younger people in your offerings, or older people? Like, what is the range? Where do you feel that people are really coming into their own?
I would say at the moment from 30 up is the range that I'm seeing in this specific work. It could have some, I'm quite present on Facebook more than Instagram, so it could have something to do with that, or maybe I'm just calling in the souls that are meant to be in my circle of people. But I do notice our generation is a little bit more in tune with like the platform of Facebook, and I'm quite active on Facebook. So I do notice that that generation is the generation that's coming to me for sessions and interested in the circle of healing.
Yeah, and I do believe that COVID played a role in that. I feel that a lot of people are reevaluating their level of joy, their level of purpose. And so that could have a big impact on your work too, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's only so much time we have, and it's very important for us to figure out what we're doing here in the first place. I think it gave people a lot of time to reflect.
It's so true. Too much time, maybe. But now we're back in the swing of things. I know that when I had in episode 4, the 3 steps to soothe the brutal inner critic on this podcast, it was actually you who I went to see. I called it my pink bunny outfit, and I had to practice self-compassion because, as you can tell, the listeners will know that a violin recital with vocals is a beautiful fancy attire, and I wasn't dressed appropriately, and I was really beating myself up, and I used the self-compassion. But I noticed that through your violin music and your vocals that I could let go of my outer shell and what I looked like and just all the surroundings. And I just felt in touch with who I was inside. And I feel that emulated around all the people in the circle, so that it became more of an internal sense of joy and enlightenment, as opposed to, worrying about the little things in life.
Exactly. And by the way, you looked absolutely beautiful that day. With the pink color, you were wearing pink, I remember, and you were glowing. After the activation, saw you, and you were literally glowing. And for me, I see souls, so I don't really. And when I know a person for a while, I don't even know exactly how to classify their level of how they look, because I just really connected to the soul. So I think you're absolutely right. We all connected as souls at a deeper level. I don't think anyone was noticing, but that was a beautiful episode to hear, because we do have this inner critic that comes up, and it's much louder within us than it is outside of us. And I always say, if someone else has enough time and energy to be specifically focusing on what someone else is or isn't doing, then they perhaps have to turn inwards themselves. So
Yeah, I think that was a big lesson I learned, because not only did I experience, it was very moving, the meditation, the music, your voice, but it really regrounded me into what's important. And I feel like I am quite grounded, but we can get really sucked into life and judging ourselves. And I think that's the beautiful part about your offering, is that your gift is the gift that brings people back to themselves. It's a call for really coming back to who you are inside. And that is absolutely priceless.
Exactly. I do believe that is an important thing right now, but that is priceless, coming back to ourselves. That is, I'm noticing everywhere I turn that people are starting to come back to themselves. So thank you for connecting that together, because I do think it's a priceless thing for us to be valuing ourselves and loving ourselves, the inward version of us, and without paying too much attention to the things outside.
Yeah, for sure. So I am going to put in the show notes where everyone can find you. But what is one thing that you'd like to leave people with, maybe where they can find you, and what is your greatest new offering right now?
Well, thank you. So you could find me on Facebook on my personal page, which is Cynthia Konopka. It's not I do have a business page that's not as active, but I'm most regularly on Cynthia Konopka, and on Instagram at The Passionate Cynthia, and konopkamusic.com is my website. It's mostly for teaching. However, I can be contacted through that website. So I have a one-on-one activation, and for anyone who mentions that they listen to Linda's podcast, just please let me know, and I will be able to provide you with a promo code for my activation to get a discount on a full experience one-on-one with all of the elements of the violin and my voice and the intuitive session. And I'd be happy to gift that promo to you if you are interested in experiencing music at a deeper level.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Do I qualify? Anyways, thank you so much for joining. It's just a little taste of the healing component that you offer in your music, your vocals, and your meditation. So I really thank you for being a part of A Call for Love. It's a call for love between ourselves, the earth, as you said, the ocean, everything around us, and for each other, for vibration, for music.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for having me, Linda. It was a pleasure.
Great to have you. Take care. Thank you for listening. It would mean so much to me if you could share this episode with someone you feel could benefit from its message. And subscribe to A Call for Love podcast to receive new weekly episodes every Tuesday. Head over to globalwellnesseducation.com to learn more.